Story time on how I caught my mom sleeping with her sister's husband, her brother-in-law. And this is a continuation of the story time where my mom married my boyfriend. Okay, so boom. After my mom divorced my boyfriend for treating her horribly, trying to get back with me and cheating on her religiously, my mom got very depressed because me or my dad was not talking to her. Only person that was there for her was her sister, which is my aunt. My auntie had the biggest heart in the world. She was very forgiving. So even after my mom did what she did, my auntie still tried to play peacemaker. She tried to make me and my mom squash everything, but that wasn't about to happen because my mom slept, got pregnant, and married my boyfriend. I'm not forgiving anything. So because my mom was so sad and lonely, my auntie was going over there a lot more than usual just to be her support system. So of course, because my auntie was spending so much time there, her husband ended up helping my mom a lot too. And that was a big mistake. Like for part 2. Part 2 on how I caught my mom sleeping with her sister's husband, her brother-in-law. And this is a continuation of the story time where my mom slept with my boyfriend. So like I said, my auntie had a big heart and was spending a lot of time with my mom because my mom had no one else. And since my auntie was spending a lot of time there, so was her husband. But there were times where my auntie couldn't see my mom because she was at work. So she sent her husband to just do a quick checkup and give her some of the food that my auntie cooked. For some reason, my auntie still trusted my mom, which is her little sister. I don't know why, but she did. Well, one day while my auntie was at work, my mom called her saying she was having a breakdown. So my auntie sent her husband to check on her and give her some food. But in actuality, what was really happening is that when my auntie went to work, my mom would call and fake like she's having a breakdown and she needs help, just so my auntie would send her husband to the rescue. And so that it wouldn't look suspicious while he was there. Well, their little sick plan didn't work this time. Like for part 3. Part 3 on how I caught my mom sleeping with her sister's husband, her brother-in-law. And this is a continuation of the story time where my mom slept with my boyfriend. Like I said, my mom called my auntie acting like she was having a nervous breakdown, so my auntie sent her husband to check on her. But what they didn't know is that my auntie called me. My auntie basically called me because she really felt bad for my mom. She kept telling me to go check on her to make sure she's okay because she's going through a lot right now. She says she know what my mom did was wrong, but that I only have one mom, and if God forbid something happened, I wouldn't regret not talking to my mom. So I said, fine. I told my dad to drop me over to my mom's house. When I go over there, I used the keys that I still had, and then I looked all of downstairs. No one was downstairs, so I went upstairs. As soon as I got upstairs, I heard moaning. So I did what anybody would do. I immediately got suspicious and pulled out my phone to start recording. I slowly made it over to my mom's room and opened the door. And there it was, like for part 4. Part 4 on how I caught my mom sleeping with her sister's husband, her brother-in-law. And this is a continuation of the story time where my mom married my boyfriend. So like I said, I pulled out my phone and started recording, and I walked over to my mom's room. I opened the door, and there it was. My mom was fully naked on the bed. And my auntie's husband's belt was unbuckled, and his shirt was unbuttoned. He was on top of her kissing her, then jumped off and fell to the floor. He immediately yells, "It's not what it looks like." And I said, "Oh, shut up. I'm recording everything." The funny part is I wasn't even shocked. When I told him my dad was downstairs, he bolted out the room, ran to his car, and he left. I called my mom a stupid It wasn't kind words. And she was just there bawling her eyes out. I immediately sent the video to my auntie. And even though my auntie's husband said they never actually did the nasty because I stopped it before it happened, my auntie didn't care and divorced him because, like, he still tried. And my mom was left with nothing and no one except her 3 cats, as she deserves. Story time on how I slept with a ghost that haunted my house. And no, I'm not crazy. Okay, so boom. I live in a haunted house with my parents and my little brother. I'm 16 and we've been dealing with this haunting for the past 8 years. My parents tried to move houses, but they followed us and continued to haunt my family. I would wake up to doors being wide open, things around the house being moved, and my mom even said one of these ghosts pushed her while she was opening the fridge. My little brother is so scared he sleeps with my parents every night. Let's just say lots of crazy weird things was happening. Well, one night one of these ghosts got in my bed. I woke up and felt a presence right next to me. That presence was all up in my grill. Then it disappeared. This started happening every night and I kind of started expecting it. Well, one night something changed and the ghost had different plans. Like for part 2. Part 2 on how I slept with a ghost that haunted my house. Okay, so boom, like I said, this night the ghost had different plans for me. I felt my sheets slightly slip down and pressure on my body. The pressure made my body feel so heavy, and then I started feeling some things. And by the time those things was over, I just realized I did the nasty with a ghost. Y'all gotta work with me. TikTok won't let me explain those things. Anyways, I told my parents and they were not having it. They paid big money to fly someone in and have them blessed and clear the home from any hauntings. We tried this before, but it didn't work. My parents just finally went with the big guns and hired the expensive guy, because at this point things were going too far. So far it looks like it worked because none of us felt any hauntings or presence from then. But since I'm now disturbed and violated by a ghost, I'm in therapy and some people just call me crazy. But trust me, I know what went down. I felt it.